everyone, this is Mindy Eggen and welcome back to my channel. I have something a little different to share with you today. Today I have an unboxing video and also I'm going to be making some cards out of this. Now this is the limited edition Valentine's kit from Simon Says Stamp. I'm going to walk you through the contents of the kit. The first thing there that I showed you was one cotton candy slimline envelope. You're also getting these sentiment strips in Cheeky Love. These are exclusive to Simon Says Stamp. You're also getting a white A2 size envelope. This is a package of the Tim Holtz Ideology Heart Adornments. These are super cute. Didn't use them in my cards today, but I'm definitely hanging on to these because these are really, really neat. You'll also get 3 gift card envelopes because a lot of the products in here are great for making little Valentines or little gift cards. There is also this Simon Says Stamp exclusive. This is I Think I'll Keep You word die. So I'm going to open this up. Now, I did take all of this out of the box that it came in, but I didn't really tear anything apart yet. So this is the word die and also a shadow die. There's a stencil included in this kit. I was really excited to see this. This is the Heart Chain 6x6 stencil. I'm going to just put a piece of white paper under here. Hopefully you can see it a little better. Now, as I'm going through this kit, I'm also kind of separating out my piles, like what I already have an idea for, like the stencil I placed up above. Some of the other things I placed off on the left-hand side because maybe I'll use it later, but like the stencil I had an idea for immediately. Now this is also a burlap clutch with that cute red and white polka dot liner in the inside. Of course, as always, a sucker that's included in the Simon Says Stamp kits. You're getting a jar of red sequins. Now, this one's definitely going way off on the side pile because it's wintertime where I'm at and static electricity is absolutely crazy right now, and I don't want to deal with any sequins on my desk. Now I'll quickly walk you through the paper that comes in the kit. This is the Doodlebug Lots of Love 6x6. You're getting one of each design. And I mean, it's Doodlebug. How do you not love Doodlebug? Their papers and products are always so darn adorable. So I'm just going to flip through these and I'm going to go through later on and pick out what I'm going to use because I definitely wanted to use this Doodlebug paper. This paper also matches what I'm going to show you next, which is the Doodlebug Lots of Love Odds and Ends Ephemera. And this has 136 pieces in it. They are just so adorable. Now, one thing I like to do with things like this is instead of opening up the bottom where the sticky piece is, I actually trim with my scissors right across the top because otherwise I'm constantly getting things stuck on that sticky flap. So everything is sealed at the bottom and I can just kind of slide everything out of the package from the top. So I'm going to just speed up the video a little bit as I kind of flip through all the different elements. You're going to see some of these a little bit more later on in the video, but I just kind of wanted to go through them real quick, see what was all in here. Lot of really cute things, balloons, little critters, rainbows, coffee cups, treats, the airplane, mailboxes, telephones. I mean, it's so jam-packed. You're also going to be getting 4 sheets of cardstock. There is doll pink, cotton candy, surf, and white cardstock included in the kit. And then last but not least is this exclusive 6x8 clear stamp set Happy Mail with these super sweet images. Now, I really wanted to use these, but I kind of wanted to focus on the ephemera. So first, I'm going through my pile that I separated out. I have my cardstock here, which I will use later, but definitely the stencil. I love my stencils. It's the first thing I wanted to use. I thought maybe I'd use the sentiment strips and then also that large word die for sure. So I'm going to start with my stencil and I'm doing this the same way I did that ephemera pack. I'm cutting off the top of this and that's actually how I've been storing my stencils lately. I just trim off the top of the packaging. Now this is a very delicate stencil, so I am spraying the back of it with PIXIE spray, which is a low-tack adhesive spray. So I'm going to let that sit for about a minute or so just till it's nice and tacky, and then I'm bringing out my Make Art station. I'm placing a piece of white cardstock down, and I'm going to lay my stencil on top, so that kind of tacky side is facing down on my cardstock, and I'm just going to push that down, make sure it's stuck down pretty good, and also kind of hold the sides with my magnets. Now I'm going to work on some ink blending. So I have my Simon Says stamp blending brushes, and I'm starting with their ink. This is Bubblegum, so it's a really light pink. After I picked up some ink with my brush, I just kind of tap off on the side a little bit to get off that first initial inking that I did. I don't want to come in too harsh or too bright. And then in just some really soft, light-handed circular motions, I'm going to cover the entire stencil with this light pink. I just wanted to start out really light-handed at first. I can always add darker colors later, but I just wanted to have a nice soft background. So after I have this first layer down, I'm going to bring in a darker color, and that color is going to be Taffy. I'm going to use a smaller blending brush to apply the ink. And my idea for this is to add this dark ink into the smaller centers of the heart. I had not used the stencil yet, so I wasn't really sure how this was all going to look in the end. This is the first time using it, which I don't normally do. Normally, I'm playing off camera, kind of experimenting, so I know what I'm doing when I come on camera, but I just jumped right into this. So I'm just really lightly adding that dark ink right to the center of all of those hearts, getting softer with it as I kind of went out towards the edges of those hearts. So after I make sure I have all of those centers covered with the ink, I'm going to go ahead and just put my ink away, and then I can remove the magnets off the top of the stencil. And I was very pleasantly surprised at how well this turned out for my first time using it. Now my stencil, I will just rinse off in the sink with some warm water. The ink comes right off, and just, isn't that gorgeous? I was so excited for this. This stencil is beautiful. I love it. Now I thought about adding some sparkle through that, but I'm really sticking with clean and simple and my first initial thought process on everything. Now I'm taking the word die, and I'm going to die cut it out of some of the matte gold cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. I'll die cut it once out of there and 2 more times out of 110-pound cardstock. And then I'm just going to add liquid glue behind those and layer my white pieces together. This is just going to help add dimension to the front of the card. I also went ahead and die cut the shadow layer from white cardstock as well. Now the glue that I'm actually using for this is the Gina Connect glue, her new formula, which is a little bit more liquidy, and I put it in these smaller bottles that have the fine tips. So it's still the great Gina Connect glue that we all know and love. Now I did go ahead and add my die cut word layered up onto that shadow layer, and then I'm going to add some foam squares behind this to pop it up just a little bit more, and then I'm going to add this to the center of my card. I love the very classic pink and gold for Valentine's Day. I think it's super cute, and you're going to notice in the pictures that I have a few sequins that I added afterwards, and the main reason I have that is because I made a boo-boo somewhere in between photographing, and I needed to add some embellishments to cover up my little scuff marks that I had. Now I'm going to really speed up this part of the video, and I'm going to walk you through kind of my thought process in all of this. I brought out that ephemera pack, and right now what I'm doing is just kind of separating out maybe some duplicates, things that went together, like the typewriters and telephone kind of gadgets, so to speak, some balloons, the mailboxes, the drinks off on the right-hand side, kind of the treat things. So I was separating out things that would go together on a card front or match. And there is a ton in this pack. So there's no way I went through it all, but I went through most of it. And I'm figuring out which ones I want to use for a card front. So like these drinks or the cupcake, I knew I wanted to use those all on a card front. So I'm kind of arranging them how I would like them. And then I'm going to just kind of push them off on the side into a pile. And that's pretty much how I'm going through each of these, is I'm going to separate them into little piles of what I really, really wanted to use, like those drinks, for instance, or that cute little mailman bunny at the top with the mailbox. That was super cute. So I'm just separating out my piles right now on what I want to use for the front of the cards. I also do pocket scrapbooking on my own for my personal use, and I love these for that too. These are great to add to my pocket scrapbook. So I'm so happy there's so many in a pack because I can save them and add later on. Now I'm going through the papers, and even though there are some really super adorable backgrounds, sometimes they're just too busy for me. So I'm just deciding what's going to look good with the background. I don't want everything to mesh together. I don't want it to blend in too much. I want my images to stand out a little bit. So I'm just going through all of that paper and matching up which items or which images I want to use for each piece of cardstock. Now that I have all of my images picked out, I needed to decide on a card design. And I am keeping this so super simple, I almost feel guilty, but it's Doodlebug and it's so cute, so I don't feel guilty. But what I did is everything has a card base size of 4¼ by 5½. That is my white card base for the most part. Now, the pattern paper that I decide to use, I trimmed down to 4 by 5¼ So it's always going to be layered to have that border on the side. Then I went through some of them, I added a little bit of white cardstock behind to separate it out a little bit. Most of them I did not. I just added that decorated panel right to the front of the card. And all of the pieces, I will say, I did add foam squares behind. I think that's what really helped make these cards for me, really, is adding the foam squares behind all of those images. It has that stamped image feel, but now that we popped them up, it just really helps. I don't know, it just helps separate it a little bit more. So I definitely suggest doing that if you have things, the ephemera packs from Doodlebug or anywhere really, is just adding some foam squares. Now for some of them, I did go back through and dig through that pack a little bit more. Maybe I wanted to add a rainbow or I was looking for some additional clouds, just something else. Like here, I went through and was looking for some more clouds to add with my hot air balloon. It also helps break up that scene just a little bit more because my background is so busy. This is a good example. This background, it's really, really cute, but it's very busy. So by adding kind of these solid colored clouds, that helps break it up just a little bit more. Now, something else you're going to notice, right now I was just going through and decorating the front of the cards. I wasn't adding sentiments. And actually, once everything was all said and done, I decided not to do any sentiments to the front of the cards. I'm going to be giving these out to teachers and aides that work with my son. I just think they're going to bring smiles to the teacher. Anything on the inside, I'll either go through my Valentine stash or maybe some thank you sentiments, or I'll just write a personal message myself. But I didn't really feel like going through and stamping or trimming out a bunch of different sentiments, excuse me. So I just left it. I let the critters do all the work on the front of the card. So we are in the home stretch here of you listening to me babble about my cards. But like I said, they're so cute and they were just so simple to create. Sometimes I don't allow myself to get so simple. I always think I have to do something fancy or get out a bunch of ink. And really, you don't. You just need some paper. You just need some cute little images to make these adorable cards. Now, this one happens to be one of my favorites. I don't know if it's the donut or the coffee drinks, but I just loved having this mixture of drinks and sweets all across the front of the card. Now, I also think this is a great reminder to you and to myself, especially, that we don't have to go all out on our cards. I really tried not to dig out a lot of extra stuff. I tried to really stick with what's in the kit. And sometimes just clean and simple works. We really don't need to do too much more. Now, this one I wanted to show you, I really wanted to add a cloud. And there was this cloud with these little raindrop hearts on there. I didn't want the raindrop hearts. I just wanted the cloud. So I was able to kind of just fussy cut around that cloud so I could help break up my scene a little bit. Now, this kit is exclusive to Simon Says Stamp, so you can only find this kit and these products over at Simon Says Stamp. So be sure to head on over and check that out. I will have all of the links down below in my video description and on my blog as well, along with pictures of all of my finished cards. I'll just kind of take you through a quick walkthrough of everything I did. And this is about where I decided that I was just going to leave them. Like, see, I added a little bird up there. Just a really simple, cute scene. Definitely could add sentiments if you wanted to, but I think these work great just as is, or even giving as Valentine treats to kids. I think those would be super cute. I hope you enjoyed today's unboxing of this limited edition Valentine's kit from Simon Says Stamp. Thank you to Simon Says Stamp for sending this to me to be able to just have fun and play. I hope this has inspired you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon.